listeners, welcome back to the first episode of 2024 at Uplifting Global Talent, the podcast that brings senior HR and business leaders together from all around the world. I'm your host, Serap Zel. I'm very excited to have a guest who is a strong HR leader and legal leader at the same time, LaTanya Langley. And welcome, LaTanya, to our show today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Serap.
LaTanya currently works as the Chief People and Legal Officer and Corporate Secretary at Edgewell Personal Care, and her role is pivotal in leading HR and legal functions together, driving growth and nurturing the company culture. And before Edgewell, LaTanya worked at BIC North America as General Counsel, and she and I worked together at BIC at that time. I know her from BIC time. And LaTanya has been an inspiring female leader for me and many others. Because in addition to her corporate achievements, she has made significant contributions to the community as well, which I really find inspiring. And she has been involved in several boards. And LaTanya, you have always several job titles, several responsibilities at the same time. In addition to that, you work with communities too. So and I think our listeners are also very eager to hear about your career journey, professional journey. So can you tell a little bit more about yourself?
Oh, thank you, Serap. And you're being a bit modest. I am inspired by you as well. I've been paying very close attention to your journey and your career, and I am just absolutely amazed at all the wonderful career moves you've made in the global landscape that you cover as well. So I think the admiration is mutual.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, I mean, I think you've pretty much covered everything about me career-wise. I would like to think that I am a people leader, whether that be in legal or in HR. People really matter. Careers and growth and development and inspiring leaders is something that's really, really important to me. I also think it's important to ensure that I am working in and giving back to our communities as a leader and as a friend and as a mentor. And so I very much look forward to talking with you about the journey along the way.
I'd like to start with maybe little light questions to get to know you better alongside the professional life. So let's start. So as someone with wealth of experience, I want to learn what's a piece of advice you wish you could give to your younger self at the beginning of your career journey?
Be authentically you. Never feel as if you have to fit into a particular mold or a box in your career. I also would tell my younger self to step outside, be able to experiment with unfamiliar behaviors and new ways of exercising leadership. Do what you're passionate about and then take up space and own the rooms that you're in.
Wow, that's great advice. And I think it will be good advice for the younger generation as well, who are at the beginning of their journey. Mm-hmm. So your LinkedIn profile and activity shows a lot of personal interest and maybe hobbies also alongside your professional journey. Can you share maybe a hobby or anything, any interest that maybe people around you may not know much about it? So let's open the secret doors a little bit.
Yeah, so in my career, I have been known to be someone who's very creative. I love to compose and create beautiful music. I love to, bring various voices and talents and gifts together. And I think that has come from my experience as a classical pianist. So I've been playing the piano. Yeah, I've been playing the piano since I was 3 years old. And I just think that the gift of composing and creation has followed me throughout my career.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. Well, that's a big one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I also would like to ask, if you were to create a hashtag, which is a very popular term now, that represents your life philosophy, what would it be?
Own it.
Oh, yeah.
Own it. I think that it's very important for us to recognize our own uniqueness and our superpowers, the skills and talents and gifts that we have that are uniquely ours and the ones that we are born with. And so I believe it's important to own those gifts and talents and show up with them whenever the opportunity presents itself.
Okay, what's the most adventurous thing you have ever done in your professional life?
Well, you would know because you were there when I was experiencing these things. But
Yeah.
I think moving into an emerging market and taking on emerging market roles has really been adventurous for me. I had the courage and conviction to step out of my comfort zone and work in markets that were really uncharted territories, especially for Americans, but especially for women.
Yeah.
So working in cultures where, males were the dominant culture was really, for me, quite adventurous and exciting. I moved to West Africa and I was the general counsel for Guinness. Moving to and living in an emerging market in a dynamic and fast-paced environment was really amazing because I was able to adapt and learn quickly, face complex problems, and really explore my potential by working in a variety of roles and projects where I can leverage my unique background and experiences. And it really grew me as a person to work in and live in emerging markets.
We worked together at that time, and I remember you were always asking questions to really understand those cultural nuances or differences. So I think that was also the right thing to do, like to really deep dive into those differences to feel comfortable as well, like with that knowledge.
Yes, and you were so helpful and supportive during that time as you are a world traveler as well, you really helped me understand a lot of the nuances between the various cultures and countries. And I really did appreciate that part of our relationship.
Same, LaTanya. And also, I want to ask, like, as you started a new position at Edgewell with the HR as well, if you could describe maybe your first weeks in your new role with 3 words, let's say, what would they be?
Chief Listening Officer. I think that's what my title should have been, at least for my first 3 weeks. I mean, again, my initial goals were to go on a listening journey and learn and understand the function, get to know the team, ask open-ended questions, actively listen, and be very empathetic with the teammates that I meet. So yeah, Chief Listening Officer would be my 3 words.
I love that. I love that. Active listening is definitely very, very important in any role, but in HR or legal roles as well, for sure. Given your global experience, so if you could teleport to any place worldwide for a weekend escape, where would that be, and why?
It's 2, really. It's Dubai and West Africa. But I'm going to focus in on West Africa for this question.
Okay.
I think West Africa holds a very special place in my heart. I visited several countries there, including Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, Ivory Coast. And I was always amazed by the diversity, richness, and beauty of the culture there. It's also a place where I learned a lot about leadership. Working and leading there, challenged me to adapt to different contexts, different perspectives and expectations. I developed my skills of empathy and communication and collaboration when I was there. And I also witnessed how a lot of the West African leaders at the company that I worked for overcame obstacles and embraced opportunities. Leading in West Africa taught me to be more humble and curious and courageous, and really appreciate the diversity and complexity of our world. Oh, and by the way, after experiencing West Africa, I did an Ancestry.com test for myself and discovered I had really strong Nigerian roots. And again, I would not have discovered that had I not lived and worked in that market. I think it's like 34% Nigerian, which was really cool to find out. I would say West Africa.
And I also loved when I worked with the leaders in West Africa, and I loved also their openness and also having fun, while they're working as well. Like very
absolute celebration. They got celebration right.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. Sometimes, some of the cultures take work very seriously. You feel it. But in those cultures, I felt really relaxed as well when we do the job.
Yes, relax, celebrate life. It was really an amazing, spirited experience.
Okay, now let's dive deeper and to the other questions. First of all, really congratulations on being named as a top in-house legal leader by the Financial Times and RSGI. So that's a big news. Yeah, really congratulations. And how has this recognition impacted your career and your perspective on your professional life?
Oh, well, firstly, I am just honored and humbled to receive this recognition from the Financial Times and RSGI.
Very well deserved.
This recognition has really been a great source of encouragement and motivation for me, as well as a reminder of the importance and impact of the work that I do. It's given me more visibility and credibility within my organization, as well as in my networking circle and the wider legal and HR communities, which has opened up new opportunities for collaboration and learning and impact. This award has also allowed me to reflect on my professional journey and the values and goals that guide me. I've always been passionate about using my legal skills and my knowledge to make a positive difference in the world. But now, even within that knowledge, I want to ensure that I'm also advancing human rights, promoting social justice, supporting sustainable development. This award has allowed me to take a second look at the challenging and dynamic environments that I work in and find out ways that I can grow and continue to learn and innovate. Mm-hmm. This is, I think, one of the reasons why I chose to transition to HR.
That's actually a really nice bridge to my next question. So you started this role as Chief People Officer at Edgewell, and but before that you studied law and spent most of maybe your career life in the legal part. And what made you do this change, and also what excited you about it?
Okay, well, the role initially was Chief Human Rights Officer. And I felt like people first was really a priority for me. So even within the title, changing it to Chief People Officer was probably the first thing. And in this role, I am responsible for driving the people strategy and culture of the organization and ensuring that I have the right talent, capabilities, and engagement to deliver our vision and mission. I just see this as a natural extension of my legal career, where I was focused on helping clients navigate complex and diverse issues, managing risks and opportunities, and helping them achieve their objectives. Much of that has not changed. What made me change and take on this opportunity was the fact that I could also shape the future of Edgewell, by fostering this culture of innovation, collaboration, and agility. By developing and empowering our people to unleash their full potential. I believe that our people are our greatest asset. And so by investing in their growth, well-being, and in diversity, that is how we're going to be able to make a positive impact on our business performance. And so just being a part of that strategy and breathing and living, framing this vision is what I'm really, really passionate about. And so I get to do that in our communities as well as in our environment and our culture.
Yeah, and I think there are not many people moving from the legal to the people function, and I think bringing two together. I think you are one of the few leaders who I met so far in this field, and that's amazing also for the other HR leaders to see like there are different career paths.
Yeah, I feel like I've always been an HR leader. I just have the title. I just have the title
like
now. I just finally got the title.
Yes, because you were so passionate about HR topics as well. You were always involved to the several projects. So that was a kind of, as you said, natural move as well.
Yeah.
I can feel that. In your current role, and of course, there are many priorities I'm sure you have in front of you. But for 2024 at Edgewell, what are like global organizational priorities? Can you tell maybe a couple of them?
Well, of course, our vision is to be the best personal care company in the world, right? So, we aim to achieve this by focusing on, innovation, growth, efficiencies, and sustainability. These pillars, amongst many, are our guide. And it helps us with our strategic decisions, where we're investing, helps us with our initiatives across all regions and functions globally. And as the role of HR evolves in response to the changes in our global landscape, we need to ensure that we're supporting these pillars by enabling our people, our teammates, to thrive in a dynamic and competitive environment. So that means we need to attract and develop and retain our diverse and talented people who can drive this innovation and growth. Building a culture of learning and development where we ensure that we have people that have the skills and knowledge and mindset to adapt to this changing world. We need to enhance our employee experience and engagement by making sure that we're providing a rewarding, supportive, and inclusive workplace that fosters well-being, collaboration, and performance. And then, of course, we must embed sustainability and social responsibility in our people practices by promoting an ethical, environmental, and social standard and encouraging our people to make a positive difference in the world. So as Chief People Officer, my role is to ensure that the HR function is delivering on these objectives. We're partnering with our business leaders. We're aligning our policies and our programs to ensure that we're empowering our people and our teams across the regions. And I see myself as an advocate, and I'm a catalyst for our people. So I listen to the needs, I listen to the feedback, and then ensure that me and our team, that we're creating opportunities for growth and recognition.
No, it sounds a really great plan. There's a lot to do. And you mentioned about the global teams and that you are trying to drive growth and as well as to retain them, develop them further. And I know, it's one of the leaders who I know that you manage the emerging markets, the global markets. So with your background as well in leading this cross-border teams, how do you navigate and leverage those cultural differences? We talked a little bit about that before, but how do you approach from HR perspective as well to ensure consistency, like accommodating this cultural differences?
I think I have a unique advantage as the head of HR because of the experience that you and I had together working in a global company. It was really a global company, right? It was very international, very, very diverse. And I think that having that experience really set me up for this role. One of the key challenges and opportunities of leading a global team is to make sure that I navigate and leverage cultural differences that exist among team members. And I believe that, culture is not only just nationality, but values, beliefs, perspectives, behaviors that shape how our teammates communicate and collaborate and solve problems. So I think to create a cohesive and effective global team, there are a number of really important principles. One is respecting and appreciating the diversity of the team. Also communicating clearly and frequently, making sure that you're using multiple channels and modes of communication with various teammates. You can use email, video, chat, social media to keep the team informed and engaged and aligned on goals. And also to tailor communication styles when you have language differences. Fostering trust and collaboration, though, is probably the biggest one from my perspective. Being able to build rapport and relationships with teammates, showing a genuine interest and care for each other, being transparent and honest, giving feedback, receiving feedback constructively.
Yeah, that's also very important, right?
Yeah, and just creating a safe and supportive environment for people to express their opinions and ideas and concerns freely. So that we can learn from each other. I feel that when teammates work together towards a common vision and outcome, and where they support and acknowledge each other's efforts and achievements, that's when you have a culture of teamwork and accountability.
I actually was going to ask you as a last question, like what would be your advice or tips to HR leaders to be really strong in this field, like in managing those cultural differences, diversity, inclusion efforts as well? You mentioned a couple of them. I think being an authentic leader by ourselves is also really key, I think, right?
Absolutely.
Being honest, being ourselves, not trying to be someone else.
Absolutely.
It's really opening the doors, right?
Yeah. And also, educating yourself and others, right? Mm-hmm. Always seek to expand your knowledge and awareness of diversity and inclusion issues, trends, best practices. Do your research, attend webinars and workshops and courses, join professional networks and communities, because these insights are really critical and you don't want to miss the mark on these diversity issues. I also think it's important to embrace and celebrate diversity. You have to value and respect diverse backgrounds and perspectives and experiences of teammates. In doing that, you need to make sure that you're fostering a sense of belonging and inclusion where teammates feel appreciated and valued and recognized. And as I mentioned earlier, communication and collaboration are also key.
And as in Uplift, actually, we are a small team, like around 25 people. We have different nationalities, and everyone is working in different time zones. And I actually really feel that we are trying to embrace that diversity, and even we are now scheduling our team calls every other week. But we have people from Latin America and Japan, so it was really hard to find the common time zone to bring all the team together. So we divided and to the 2 sessions. But we said, okay, maybe we can create like several sessions for people to join in different time zones based on their comforts as well.
I love that. They're like listening sessions.
Yes,
I might have to adapt that. I love that idea. That's great.
But definitely, I'm also so passionate on this diversity topics. And but thanks a lot for joining us today, LaTanya. It has been a really nice chat with you after many years as well. Seeing you.
No, I'm so happy to see you and have this conversation with you. And I know you're very passionate about this topic, and so just hearing and talking to you about it is so refreshing. Thank you, Serap.
Thank you, LaTanya. And also to our listeners all around the world, thank you for tuning in to Uplifting Global Talent. We hope you found this episode as inspiring as I did. And stay inspired and keep uplifting global talent, and looking forward to meeting you in the next episode. Thank you. Bye-bye.